Congratulations, all you clever graduates. Marvellous job. You've got your degrees. You're off into the big wide world. Thanks so much to my students who graduated. You made last year brilliant, and I hope you go forth and conquer the rest of the universe, all of you. Congratulations.
Huge congratulations from the library team.
And good luck for your future.
Congordiachas Mordiv Ilig Agalti. A huge congratulations to you all on this fantastic achievement, and an especially big achievement in light of the years that we have behind us. So I hope you enjoy taking your music further now into a world that is more open than it was during your years of study. Congratulations.
So I just wanted to say big congratulations to everybody who's got exceptional circumstances. So well done, have a great day, enjoy your ceremony, and all the best for the future.
I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to everybody graduating today, and I extend especially warm congratulations to those whom I had the honour of partnering for their final recitals. I wish you all the best for all your future endeavours and wish you every success.
Many, many congratulations on your success and your achievements, and a special hello to all the international students who've done so well. Many congratulations and good luck for the future. Bye.
Congratulations on your massive achievement, and we hope you really enjoy your day. We miss you here, but we're really excited to see the impact that you have on the music industry, on people's lives, and on the world.
Class of 2022,
congratulations! Many congratulations on your graduation. I'm so excited for what the future's going to hold for you all.
Congratulations, Class of 2022.
All the best for the future. We can't wait to see what you do next.
Congratulations, it's an amazing achievement. You should be really proud of yourselves. Now, just remember, wherever you are, whatever you do, wherever you're working and whoever you're working with, never forget how amazing you are. Bye-bye, keep in touch.
Massive congratulations to the class of 2022.
Hi everybody, hope you're very, very well and that you have a great celebration today. Many, many congratulations on your graduation and all the best in the future.
Many congratulations for all of you who've achieved during your time.
Congratulations, Class of 2022.
All the very best for the future, and stay in touch.
Congratulations, Class of 2022.
Good luck.
Congratulations, Class of 2022.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the RNCM. Would you please stand for the President's procession?
name is Ravi Gupta. I have the privilege and honour as Chair of the Board of Governors to declare this congregation open.
Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's Congregation of Awards. Our annual congregation is where we celebrate the achievement of our students and thank them for the contribution they have made to the college. As well as being our opportunity to thank you, their parents, families and friends for the support you have given over so many years, it's also an opportunity for me to pay tribute to my colleagues here at the RNCM who work so tirelessly on behalf of our students. Each year, we're delighted to be able to confer associateship, fellowship and honorary membership of the RNCM on those who have made an invaluable contribution to the professional world of music and to the work of the college. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to recognise the work of these individuals today. Today, however, is first and foremost about our graduates. For those of you receiving your awards, you should be incredibly proud to have excelled in your studies against the backdrop of a global pandemic, which has had such a significant impact on all of our lives. We could not have imagined the scale of challenge this would create for us, but your determination to seize every opportunity this brave new world presented does you enormous credit. Indeed, the RNCM has been seen as an exemplar nationally and internationally for the way we have embraced digital learning and performance. We are immensely proud that this was recognised by a 4th Times Higher Education Award for Technical or Digital Innovation of the Year. Our thanks go to the small team of colleagues here who worked so tirelessly to ensure you could continue your studies and benefit from the very best the digital world had to offer us. Studying music at a world-leading conservatoire like the RNCM demands not only exceptional talent and dedication, but also resilience and creativity. You have all shown these qualities throughout your time with us, especially when the pandemic forced us to adapt to such uncertain and unprecedented circumstances. Your commitment to your studies and to embracing radically different ways to work does you immense credit. As you enter a global music industry that is itself coming to terms with the long-term impact of the pandemic and looking at how technology might change the way it works into the future, this is something that I know will stand you in very good stead. As we celebrate the landmark of our 50th anniversary, the RNCM today is recognised as one of the world's leading and most progressive conservatoires, delivering on its strategy to define the future of music. It is you, our graduates, who will drive this agenda forward as you embark upon your careers. You will be the advocates for positive change in our profession and in society by ensuring that music remains accessible, inclusive and relevant to people of all ages and backgrounds in the years to come. Where you study remains on your CV for life, and I hope that you will all be very proud to be graduates of the RNCM. I'm confident that all of you graduating today will benefit from the esteem within which the college is now held in the UK and overseas, and that this will put you in the strongest possible position for your future careers. In an increasingly challenging and diverse profession, one of the strongest indicators of our success is that graduates from the RNCM go on to establish and sustain fulfilling careers across the music industry and to make a significant difference to the lives and well-being of others in society. I'm confident that those of you graduating today will follow in these footsteps. You are about to join our global network of alumni, and wherever your lives and careers may take you, you will find friends and allies who studied here. When I speak to former students, it's obvious that the college occupies a very special place in their hearts. I hope it will in yours too. You leave the RNCM with a power not only to realise your dreams, but also to ensure that quality music is for everyone. I know you will use this power wisely, supporting and inspiring young musicians who are no longer able to access quality music tuition, drawing on your creativity and imagination to engage with new audiences, and reaching out through music to transform the lives of those less fortunate than yourselves in education, community and healthcare settings. Your excellence as practitioners, complemented by your innovative spirit and entrepreneurial skills, are the qualities that will mark you out for future success and meaningful and sustainable careers in music. As we begin our journey for the next 50 years, the RNCM is setting out an ambitious agenda to define excellence in conservatoire education and shape the music industry for the future. I have every confidence that with our highly talented students, alumni, staff and partners, we will achieve this goal. To conclude, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you receiving your awards today. To our new honorands, I welcome you warmly into the extended RNCM family. To our graduates, as alumni of the RNCM, you will always be very welcome here. Do please keep in touch with our alumni team. They will love to hear from you, to share and celebrate your news with the wider RNCM community, and to support you in developing your professional connections and networks. Also to champion you and your careers in any way possible. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to work with you in your time at the RNCM. As you take your next steps into the music profession, wherever in the world this may be, we will be following your progress with much interest and wishing you every success and happiness into the future. Thank you. President, on behalf of the RNCM, I now invite presentations of musicians who have been deemed worthy to be admitted as Fellows of this college.
Mr. President, it is a great honour and a privilege for me to be able to present Paul Hindmarsh for the Fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music. Paul says that for as long as he can remember, the experience of music has been an essential ingredient of his life. Paul's musical upbringing began in the Salvation Army, firstly in Cambridge and then Croydon, and subsequent training was at the Royal College of Music studying trombone and then Birmingham University. Whilst we are here today honouring Paul's achievements within the brass band field, I believe that it is his multifaceted career and breadth of experience in many areas of the professional world of music is what has made his contribution to the brass band world so significant. Throughout his life, Paul has pursued parallel careers in music as a professional producer and performer, both activities enhanced and informed by a steady flow of research, writing and editing. Paul began his performing career as a professional singer. Between 1976 and 85, he combined the post of librarian to the Scottish Music Archive with professional singing, specialising in the tenor concert repertoire. He became a member of Scotland's only professional chamber choir of that period, the John Curry Singers, and was the tenor soloist of the Scottish Early Music Consort. From 1985 in Manchester, he joined the BBC Northern Singers. Unfortunately, this busy period of Paul's career was cut short following head injuries caused by a cycling accident. His activities as a producer began in 1985 when he joined the BBC as a music producer for Radio 3. Across a 21-year broadcasting career, Paul contributed to the full range of the station's output with an emphasis on British music, orchestral, choral, chamber and, of course, brass bands. He received several Sony Award nominations for production, including the feature Elgar's Final Enigma, Symphony No. 3, which led to Anthony Payne's historic realisation of this unfinished work. He left the BBC in 2006 to set up his own production company, specialising in music journalism, CD production and music editing, and in 2012 started to publish his own work as well as that of others. For 10 years, he served as Director of Concerts for the Manchester Midday Concert Society at the Bridgewater Hall and was privileged to curate the Society's centenary season in 2015. Paul's involvement in brass bands took significant shape in 1990. Firstly, he was invited to become the musical director of the famous Bess's the Barn Band. He directed the band for 3 years in a range of broadcasts for Radio 2 and 3, its busy concert schedule including festival experiences at Lichfield, Chester, Newbury and Harrogate, and conducting the band in the major contests, including the British Open and the National Brass Band Championships. Secondly, 1990 saw Paul establish the BBC Festival of Brass, now known as the RNCM Brass Band Festival. This festival has been the most important event for brass bands and its leading brass bands. The most important event for brass bands and its composers outside of the contest arena for the past 3 decades, bringing together the UK's leading brass bands to perform and celebrate music of historical significance alongside new works at the cutting edge of the repertoire, often commissioned or facilitated by Paul himself. Simply put, without this festival and Paul's relentless work, the musical landscape of the brass band movement would be a much poorer place. Professor Edward Gregson, formerly principal here at the RNCM and with us today, sat just behind me, is quoted as saying, "The world of brass bands owes Paul Hindmarsh a great debt of gratitude. Without him, the story of the last 25 years would have to be retold. He has achieved this with single-minded dedication, enthusiasm and patience. Through the BBC in Manchester and now at the RNCM, Paul has developed the Brass Band Festival into the most groundbreaking annual festival of its kind in the world." In 2005, Paul was awarded the Isles Medal of the Worshipful Company of Musicians for services to the brass band community, and between 2016 and 2022 served as the chair of the European Brass Band Association Music Commission, which oversees the musical aspects of the annual European Brass Band Championships and Festival. In September 2020, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award for his work with brass bands from Brass Bands England. Mr. President, I am honoured to present Paul Hindmarsh for admission to the Fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music, Honoris Causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honour and privilege for me to be able to deliver this speech to confer Fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Benjamin Wallfisch for his outstanding contribution to the music profession. I first met Ben back in 2000 when I started here as head of composition. Straight away, I cottoned on to the fact that he was determined to reach the heights as a brilliant all-round musician, and quickly. As a third-year joint course student at Manchester University, he'd just had a new work for double-string orchestra premiered by the Manchester Camerata in the Bridgewater Hall. He was busy building up a schedule of conducting engagements. He was also very much in demand as a composer of TV music. On top of this, Ben asked me whether it was possible to take the 4th year of the GRNCM course at Manchester University and at the RNCM and the 1 year's master's course here at the same time. I've not had that request since. Unfortunately, we couldn't oblige, so he took his revenge and defected to this small village somewhere called London, where he gained the much-coveted honorary diploma of the Academy at the Royal Academy of Music. Following graduation, Ben soon became a much sought-after composer with many high-profile commissions, including an electroacoustic ballet score for the Rambert Dance Company, Escape Velocity at the BBC Proms in 2006, which he conducted with the Orchestra of St. John's, where he was associate composer, and a violin concerto for Teresa Stanislav and the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra, of which one reviewer wrote, "A violin concerto that grips the heart and engages the mind. This is simply a great violin concerto, and one that deserves to be heard in recordings of major concert venues around the world." You've got to listen to it. Ben has also had commissions from the Halle Orchestra, the Hamburg Symphony Orchestra, the BBC Singers, the Netherlands Radio Philharmonic, and many others. Artists that have performed his music have included Yuja Wang, Herbie Hancock, and Lang Lang. Ben's conducting career, following his first prize in the British Reserve Insurance Conducting Competition in 2001. It was launched then. He was appointed Associate Conductor of the English Chamber Orchestra between 2003 to 2007. He has worked with the world's leading orchestras, including the BBC Symphony Orchestra, the Philharmonia Orchestra, the London Philharmonic, the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, the Bavarian Radio Philharmonic, and the Sydney Symphony in various venues, including the Hollywood Bowl, the Royal Festival Hall, the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam, and Sydney Opera House. The Strad magazine complimented him as one of the finest accompanists anywhere on the podium, and solo artists that Ben had worked with included Evelyn Glennie, Dame Felicity Lott, Freddie Kempf, Igor Oistrach, and John Williams. Notable recordings released have included Shostakovich's first violin concerto with Ruth Palmer and the Philharmonia, and a disc of compositions by Ernest Bloch with his father, Raphael Wallfisch, as cello soloist. In the last few years, Ben, who is based in Los Angeles, has become most well known as a leading composer of film music, with nominations for Grammy, Golden Globe, BAFTA, Emmy, and World Soundtrack Awards. He has worked on over 80 feature films, his most celebrated including Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049 with Hans Zimmer, Andy Muschietti's It, which happens to be the most successful horror film of all time, spawning a sequel, It Chapter 2, David F. Sandberg's Shazam, and Simon McCoy's Mortal Kombat, the Steven Spielberg-produced Auschwitz, and a contribution to Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. Other notable successes include scores for James Marsh's King of Thieves, David Sandberg's Annabelle, Creation, and Gore Verbinski's A Cure for Wellness. Recently, Ben finished working with celebrated director Ron Howard on his movie about the 2018 Tham Luang Thai cave rescue, 13 Lives, and also his second movie in the Warner Brothers DCU, The Flash, which is being released in summer 2023. In 2019, in recognition of the financial success of the films he's been involved with, Variety magazine inducted him into their $1 billion composer scheme series. Not too many RNCM composers have been asked to join this inclusive club so far, but maybe Ben's example could set a trend. Ben's spectacular and continuous success in writing and conducting for the concert hall, the theatre, and the cinema has been a joy to follow and should be an inspiration to those wanting to follow in his footsteps. Mr. President, I'm delighted to confer fellowship of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Benjamin Wallfisch for his outstanding contribution to the music profession. Honoris causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, speech to confer for his outstanding contribution to the music profession. I'm delighted that Reese's trumpet-playing niece Rebecca is able to be here to receive it. Reese was born near Caerphilly, South Wales in 1967. He began playing the cornet in a local brass band at the age of 8. It was clear even at this early stage that Reese was not only a most promising cornet player, but also a fine all-round musician. Therefore, it was no great surprise that by the age of 17, he had become both principal cornet of the National Youth Brass Band, as well as principal trumpet of the National Youth Orchestras of Wales. He moved to Manchester in 1984 to study at Cheetham School of Music, where he learnt with John McMurray, moving on to the Royal College of Music in 1986, where he studied with the great David Mason. I think it was Reese that came up with Dave's nickname of Disco Dave, which anyone who knew Dave Mason was totally inappropriate. During his time there, he was a brass finalist in the BBC Young Musician of the Year competition and a finalist in the Shell LSO brass competition. Reese joined the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra in 1991 as fourth trumpet and after a spell as third trumpet, he was promoted to section principal trumpet in 1998. He was always very proud of this fact, of having sat in every seat in the section other than the second trumpet chair. I don't know what he disliked so much about second trumpets, but he soon became one of the most highly respected orchestral trumpeters of his generation and was always in demand as a guest principal with other UK orchestras. He was also invited to perform as a member of the World Orchestra for Peace under Valery Gergiev, and his performance at the BBC Proms of Mahler 4 was a particularly proud moment for him. Rees's well-balanced leading of the Liverpool Phil's brass section in the recorded series of Shostakovich symphonies with Petrenko exemplifies both his musical skills and colossal musical personality. I know that he was very touched when I told him back in February this year that all of our trumpet students had used the Rees recording of Shostakovich 8 in their preparation for the seating auditions for last year's Symphony Orchestra concert. Rees joined the staff of the RNCM in 1999 and was highly respected not only for his expertise, but also for the great inspiration and incredible mentorship that he gave to his own students, as well as the other students within the department, most notably through his regular trumpet classes. I can honestly say there's not one single trumpet pupil at the RNCM who hasn't been on the receiving end of one of Rees's most comforting and ultimately reassuring observations of, "Ooh, it's hard, that is." Rees's love of Verdi opera always puzzled me. I'm not too sure that he actually ever performed one, but he really loved it and thrived on all of the horrendous transpositions that the trumpet parts contain. His torturous Verdi excerpt book brought about the same level of fear in students, fear and dread, when produced in lessons as his even more notorious Arban study book did. During the pandemic, much to his own surprise, Rees rose admirably to the numerous challenges of teaching online, and his generous support to the students during this time I know was far more greatly appreciated than he ever realised. It is great to know that several of his students are here today. Rees and I were great friends for many years, but sadly didn't often get the opportunity to perform together, tending to cover for each other when needed in the other one's orchestra. In April 2019, however, we did hatch what we considered to be the ultimate plan when I needed someone to share a particularly heavy and challenging programme with me. To be honest, though, I don't think it was anything to do with the programme, but rather the fact that it meant for him spending a couple of nights Chez Greg in Huddersfield. That seemed more appealing. The deal breaker seemed to be when I agreed to a programme of social events that featured Liverpool Phil visits to the Rat and Ratchet pub and Lahore Spice Curry House on the Thursday in return for being able to do more Opera North typical events, visiting the Grove and Kebabish on the Friday. Needless to say, it was fondly and frequently remembered by both of us over the last few years. A lot of this reminiscence occurred after Rees was diagnosed with motor neuron disease early in 2021. After this, he faced this devastating news and terrible situation with his characteristic calm and just basic lack of fuss. During regular visits to see Rees at his house on the Wirral, he would always want to know about how his students here at the RSM were doing, and it was always nice to be able to let them know that he was asking after them. Rees was a truly wonderful musician, colleague and friend to many. He was a very proud member of the RLPO and hugely proud of his pupils too at the RNCM. Of their great achievements, his contribution to music making in both roles was really immense. Within the music profession, he always was, still is, and always will be greatly loved and admired by all that had the pleasure of working with him, not only for the sheer brilliance of his performance, but also for the incredible strength of character and great sense of camaraderie. Mr. President, I'm delighted to confer posthumous fellowship of the Royal Northern College Music in memory of Rees Owen, honoris causa. Memory of Rees Owen, honoris causa.
President, on behalf of the RNCM, I now invite presentations of persons who have rendered distinguished service and are deemed worthy to be admitted as honorary members of this college.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great privilege for me to deliver this speech to confer honorary membership of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Diana Keeley-Edwards for her services to music and charity. Diana established the Martin Edwards Jazz Bursary in 2006 in memory of her late husband. He had developed his increasing enthusiasm for jazz after moving from Swansea to Manchester early in his academic career. Martin proved a true jazz lover, building an impressive knowledge of the discipline and a steadily growing selection of CDs. Jazz became a very special part of Diana and Martin's life together and was a passion that they continued to share, including mainstream and innovative forms of the genre. They were consistent visitors to RNCM, regularly attending the big band performances, accompanied by a group of jazz-loving friends. When Martin died from an aggressive brain tumour in 2006, Diana set up a bursary in his name. She knew how much he would have wished to ensure that jazz continues to be supported and celebrated as a discipline at the college. And since then, Diana has been able to assist and encourage many promising young jazz musicians, and this year will see the 17th student to be awarded Martin's bursary. Both Diana and Martin had careers at universities and keenly understood the need to help and nurture students, opening doors and giving opportunities. When working at the international office at the University of Manchester, Diana set up and ran the American Exchange Programme, which is still thriving today. This commitment to student success has extended to her support of the RNCM. Diana really cares about the young musicians who benefit from Martin's bursary, and she keeps in regular contact throughout their time at the college. In many cases, she's been able to maintain an active interest in their careers, and they, in turn, have remained in touch with her. She remembers a great birthday party in London a few years ago, and recently had a delightful lunch with a mother of a bursary recipient who's kept in touch and visits Manchester. Diana has become a champion and advocate of many RNCM initiatives. She's a long-standing member of our Principal Circle and has hosted fundraising events in her home. She is also one of the key people who inspired our recent Ukrainian Musicians Fund, which has helped to raise over £50,000 to bring displaced young musicians from Ukraine to continue their studies here at the college. President, it is with great pleasure that I present Diana Keeley-Edwards for honorary membership of the Royal Northern College of Music, honoris causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honour and a privilege for me to be able to deliver this speech to confer honorary membership of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Professor Malcolm Press, CBE, for his services to the RNCM. Professor Press was appointed as Vice-Chancellor of Manchester Metropolitan University, just next door, in 2015, having previously held positions at the universities of Birmingham, Sheffield, Manchester and UCL. Malcolm is an ecologist with over 200 publications covering the impacts of climate and environmental change, tropical rainforest ecology, and subsistence farming in sub-Saharan Africa. He studied plants and environments in a diverse range of ecosystems, from the tropics to the high Arctic. His research expertise and academic interest is reflected in the strong leadership role Manchester Metropolitan University has taken in environmental stewardship. It's one of the leading universities in terms of environmental sustainability, as recognised by the People and Planet University rankings, where Manchester Metropolitan has been in the top 3 since 2013. We have benefited from free environmental advice and support from Manchester Met over the years. It's very important for us, as we are much smaller, we have less resource, but equal commitment and enthusiasm to do what is needed to protect the planet for the next generation. Malcolm is a trustee of the British Council and the Universities and Colleges Admissions Service, UCAS, and sits on the boards of Universities UK and the Institute for Apprenticeships and Technical Education. Previously, he served as president of the British Ecological Society, a trustee of the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew, a council member of the National Trust, a council member of the Society of Biology, a trustee of the World Wildlife Fund, and as a deputy chair of the Research Excellence Framework Biological Sciences Panel. He was appointed a Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, in 2022. Malcolm has been and continues to be a good friend to the RNCM. He shares his expertise and that of his senior team with us. The development of the School of Digital Arts in the very striking building next door offers opportunities for both institutions to collaborate. We've also shared acting and vocal training expertise to the benefits of students from both institutions. Although these are challenging times for universities and society as a whole, we both see and feel the energy and sheer creativity of our students as the signs of a very positive future. Mr. President, I am delighted to confer honorary membership of the Royal Northern College of Music upon Professor Malcolm Press for his services to the RNCM honoris causa.
President, on behalf of the Royal Northern College of Music, I present for the award of Bachelor of Music with Honours, Kurosh Ahmadi. Katie Allen. Thomas Bain. Charlotte Baker. Oliver Bartlett. Jack Belcher. Amal Bhatia. Leonardo Bizotto. Paula Bowes. Xin Hui Tsao. Josh Cargill. Gracie Caton. Cameron Chinsey. C. Dai. Molly Davidson. Marcus da Silva. Adam Delbridge Smith. Zaini Denya. Cameron Dickerson. Emily Douglas. Dylan Edge. Reese Edwards. Edwin Farrer. Phoebe Forrester. Christopher Goddard. Erica Go. Amy Gray. Jem Gray. Tom Hall. Olivia Hamblin. Seung Young Han. Chris Hardy. Josh Harry. Sin He. Edward Holmes. Jess Hughes. Nye Hughes Watts. Lockian Hui. Joseph Ingle. Ben Jackson. Nathan Jackson Turner. Hoda Jahanpur. Tom Jansen. Ben Jarvis. Hinos Jones. Samuel Kane. Matthew Late. Chun Hung Lau. Chuk Lam Lau. Carl Layton. Henry Lewis. Li Yuan Li. Sam Lightwing. Bethany Littlewood. Taylor London. Maria Matviva. Olivia May. Orla McGarity. Neve McKendrick. Kirsty McNaughton. Austin Miller. Josh Mountford. Ravi Nathwani. Adam Neild. Idane Ung. Alessandro Pacic. Ellen Pearson. Ellen Poynton. Alex Riddell. Magdalena Riedel. Lavender Rodriguez. Stefan Rogers. Anna Rowland. Charlie Saunders. Lou Simmons. Hannah Seymour. Dean Smith. Tom Smith. Amelia Snoxall. Emmeline Tovey. Gray Tracy. Christophoros Siantos. Vickers. Lucy Wallace. Sinead Walsh. Suan Hun Wong. Yihui Wong. James Warburton. Gronya White. Alice Whitehouse. Jenny Worrell. Alice Wrigglesworth. Archie Young Lee. Fang Wei Zhao.
President, on behalf of the Royal Northern College of Music, I present for the award of Bachelor of Music with Honours in Popular Music, Hayden Astley. Louis Campbell. Will Dakin. Ollie Davis. Ellie Grice. James Harper. Charlie Harris. Sam Healy. Jake Hopkins. Luke Keir. Corbin Lamb. Billy Lancaster. Chris Larkham. Alex Madison. Beth McCleary. Rob Palmer-Fenney. Nathan Pears. Luke Percy. Jamada Roberts. Callum Rowe. Adelaide Taylor. Rosita Teixeira. And Ben Truman.
President, on behalf of the Royal Northern College of Music, I present for the award of Graduate Diploma of the Royal Northern College of Music, Dan Gribbin. Nathan Holroyd. Matthew Jones. Victoria Schofield. And Helena Walsh. President, this concludes the presentation of undergraduate awards. The names of those graduating in absentia are listed in the programme.
Well, lads, we did it. Congratulations. And I don't know about you, but it certainly felt to me somewhere around the depressing depths of January 2021 that this day was never going to come. I also certainly never thought that I would be the person tasked with giving this address. 9-year-old Sinead's taking a Valium right now. When I sat down to write this little speech, I frankly had no idea what to say. What could I possibly say to a room full of some of the most accomplished graduates in the country that would be somewhat meaningful? I still don't have the answer to my own question, but Linda told me I had to talk for longer than 30 seconds, so here goes. Today is a day to celebrate our individual achievements and those of us as a cohort. For many of us, we're the first university graduates in our families, and for a lot of us, we're certainly the first conservatoire graduates. We all know the blood, sweat and tears that has gone into the last 4 years And today is an opportunity to celebrate the good times and reflect on these formative years in our musical lives. So, let me take you right back to the very beginning. In September 2018, 154 of us descended on Manchester from all corners of the world and from all different backgrounds, but the one thing we had in common was a shared love of music, a desire to get better at our craft and a curiosity to learn. Our first year was full of new experiences, too many footage Thursdays, and a whole lot of fun. New friendships formed and musical connections were made that will hopefully last long into the future. Our second year was cut short as we entered completely exceptional circumstances and unprecedented times. I don't want to dwell on the big C19 too much, but I think it is important to acknowledge the challenges we've all had to overcome. 6 months, and much longer for some, at home practicing on our own and making music through Zoom wasn't exactly what we imagined our degree experience to look like. We've shown resilience, adaptability and creativity, which are all skills that will stand us as we enter the profession. Third year was uncertain. I learned that no one can see you smiling through a mask, but Reunite at the end of the year gave us hope for new beginnings and a brighter final year. And that we had. I think you will all agree that live final recitals meant so much to so many to be able to share our music with our families and friends again. And now, look at us, all gowned and grown up. As the old Irish saying goes, Mull an óga agus chucky siad, praise the young and they will grow, and we've certainly grown during our time at the RNCM. However, we're still 154 different people on 154 different journeys. Some of us have gone on to postgraduate study, started a PGC or entered the teaching profession, moved abroad, gone into music management, production, or something completely different. Someone is even training to be a pilot. The skills we've learned in this specialist environment have enabled us to embark on any career we choose, not just music. And if you haven't found your thing just yet, or figuring things out, don't panic. A story wouldn't be very interesting if it didn't have a few plot twists. But there is someone missing who should be celebrating with us today, and I do want to take this moment to remember Josh Hall. Even though Josh transferred onto the pop course, I know he would have been here today for his friends. Josh and his family are in our thoughts today. However, we've not got to this position all on our own, and today is a day to show our appreciation to everyone who supported us on our journey. Firstly, the people who started us on this crazy path, our parents. Your commitment to our musical education, from dropping us to and from lessons, to waiting in the car for hours outside youth orchestra rehearsals, to coming to every single concert, even if you were the only ones there, to making us practice for more than 10 minutes for our grade 4 exam when we just didn't want to, is the reason we are here today. And because there had to be some perk of doing this scary speech, shout out to my mum and dad, you're the best. During my time as president, I've had the privilege of gaining a real insight into the behind-the-scenes workings of the college, and it has made me appreciate more and more the staff body who work tirelessly to provide us with the best education possible. I don't have time to thank everyone, but here are a few special mentions. Thank you to the Board of Governors, the executive team, and especially to Linda, for keeping the cogs of the RNCM machine running and for always putting the students first. Thank you to our principal study tutors, who've been by our sides through the competition wins, audition rejections, and everything in between. To all our lecturers, who've at times answered emails way past their working hours to make sure we got our essays in on time, thank you. To orchestras and ensembles who spend their lives chasing us before rehearsals, thank you for your patience. Thank you to everyone in student services for dealing with us on a day-to-day basis and for not exploding when we ask for our 5th student card in 4 years. Thank you to the Wellbeing and Language Support team for going above and beyond to make sure that everyone is looked after and given the support they need to excel here. To the sound and video team who saved many a Zoom catastrophe, thank you. And finally, thank you to the operations team, porters, catering and cleaning staff, whose hard work is often overlooked, but without them, we would not be able to perform at our best. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you, my fellow classmates, who I'm now lucky enough to call my friends. Thank you for all the laughs, SU parties, practice procrastination chats, hellos in the cafe, and not least, in the words of ABBA, thank you for the music. It has been a pleasure to study alongside you extremely talented people, and I hope to cross paths with all 154 of you in the future. If you'd asked me exactly 5 years ago what was one thing I would wish for, it would have been to study at the RNCM. The atmosphere when you come into the building here every day is what makes this community so special. The inspiration and energy we've gained from learning in this place is unlike something we may get to experience again. And so on the days when you feel no inspiration, remember why you fell in love with music in the first place and take that with you on the rest of this journey. Today, we are officially proud Northerners, and I hope that feeling will continue on for a lifetime. When you become SU President, everyone suddenly expects you to be the oracle, an expert on being a student, when really I've quality controlled far too much college house wine to be the perfect student. And I feel like when it comes to graduation speeches, everyone expects there to be some words of wisdom at the end, when really I gain wisdom from looking into a tub of Quality Street. But what I will say to you, as I wish you all the very best as you move on to the next step in what I'm sure will be fabulously colourful careers, is mind yourself. Yes, I know it's my closing line to every conversation, but I do really mean it. The world can sometimes feel scary and overwhelming, so do what you need to do to feel safe and protected within it. And finally, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. You have no idea what impact a mere smile or a quick compliment to someone might have on them. Be the sunshine on a rainy day. It is the greatest honour to have been elected to serve as your Students' Union President, and I feel privileged to be in a position to leave a lasting mark for the class of 2022 at the RNCM. Let's use today to look back on all the memories we've made together and look forward to creating new ones. Have the best day, because by God you deserve it, and thank you.
President, I present the students of the Royal Northern College of Music who've been selected to receive a gold medal. Ruby Joyce. Henry Lewis.
It's my great honour to be the president of this place, currently. And I hope to remain so for some time yet. And it's also a great pleasure for me to present all the awards today, and congratulations to all the recipients. It's always great to come to this place. You know, you walk in the front door and you feel energy within these walls. And it's fantastic. And I love that. It reminds me to some extent of my time as a music student here in Manchester. I'm afraid we're going back to the late 60s. And this building wasn't even built. And my 4 years were spent at the Royal Manchester College of Music, a precursor to this great place. Over back on south from near Diva Street. It was the most wonderful time, the most formative years. where I learnt so much about all aspects of music and being, in my case, an opera singer, primarily the voice, of course, I learnt about. And it was a great foundation for what followed, because I spent the last 50 years appearing on great stages like the Royal Opera House and the Metropolitan New York and Sydney Opera House and the Vienna State Opera, Wolverhampton Theatre Royal. The list goes on. I was actually I was brought up in a small town 20 miles north of here. I think that's north of there. In the 50s, I was a little lad in the 50s, and it's tempting to say it was grim up north in them days. Unfortunately, it was actually, in many ways. It was a mill town. All the buildings were blackened through soot, and there were a couple of mines. But the great thing about it was music. I was brought up surrounded by music, because after the people had washed off the grime, they went to band practice, or they went to the chapel choir rehearsal, or if there was nothing else going on, they'd sing round the piano, as a family. I was the youngest of 5, and my siblings were singing and playing, which was wonderful. All of it, of course, completely amateur at that time. So that's where the seeds of my singing came from. I noticed yesterday, I was sitting here, I sang a song in the opera last night, and I was sitting here doing a bit of warming up, and I turned around and looked at our insignia for the first time. And it says, Fovet musica omnes. And I think that means music nourishes everyone. If there are any Latin scholars, they can correct me. Is that right? I think it is. But that's what's come to me through my whole experience of music. Music is the most mysterious, magical art form that reaches parts other art forms don't reach. It expresses everything about life, the ecstasies of life, and the bereavements and the grief involved also with life. But it crosses, we need music. It crosses all borders. It unifies national borders of language or religion. It goes around the globe. A Bach chorale resonates as much on one side of the world as the other. An Irish folk song is appreciated worldwide. In my 60 years and 16 so far, I don't sort of recall a time when the world has been so disrupted and so divisive, so divided as well. And we need to work together as a people. We need to be brought together. We need unity. And music can do that. Music can enable us to deal better as a people with all the problems that we face. Now, in whatever capacity we all in this room serve music, most of us serve music in some form or another, we on this side of this red carpet here wish all of you well. And we hope that you will prosper, and we hope that you will bring joy and inspiration to others through music and through your service to music. Thank you.
Words, as always, and we do hope you will serve as our president for many more years. Well, we're drawing our ceremony to a close, but before we do that, can I just ask that we give another large round of applause to all of our students. Congratulations. We sincerely hope you enjoy the rest of the day with merriment and laughter. These events are only possible with the extreme hard work, commitment and dedication of people around them. So a massive thank you to the RNCM team. There are too many people to mention, but a special thank you to Sonia Burling and Emma Hamilton-Wood for putting this all together. You may be aware it is traditional at this point to end the ceremony with a student singing the national anthem. Before I introduce our student on stage, can I just ask that guests remain upstanding until the President's procession has left the auditorium, and you remain in your seats until the graduates have also left the console. So without further ado, I would like to close the ceremony and welcome Morgana Warren-Jones to sing the national anthem.